just wanted to give you a quick look at a list of supplies that I have gathered throughout the years that have helped me just streamline, make things easier. You guys get to learn this the easy way. Of course, I learned it through trial and error. So one of the first things is tipless bags. I order these off Amazon. They're not super thick, so these aren't going to be like your buttercream frosting bags. This is for, I use it for royal icing. Okay, so they have different sizes of these, 12, 14, 16. I mean, you can get them at different sizes. I will give you a little tip later on for those. The next thing you need is a scribe tool. This is going to help you move your icing around and get those air bubbles out. So one thing that really helps is this little cookie turntable. They have them in different sizes, different shapes. My mom actually prefers the one that is a circle. This is just the first one I ever used, so that's just what I have. But when you're doing intricate designs or you're doing flooding, it just makes it so much easier instead of having to pick the cookie up and turn it on the table, to just be able to turn this and you're not fighting with trying to not touch the royal icing on the sides of the cookie. So you're definitely going to have a whisk attachment and of course the paddle attachment. You don't have to have a fancy mixer to be able to do this. I did it with and without it. So if you have a hand mixer, that's fine too. You will need a rolling pin. I highly suggest having the guards so that all of your cookie dough is spread evenly. Because you don't want to end up with some cookies that are really thick in one area and really thin in another area of the cookie, or your icing is going to slide right off. One other thing is a spray bottle. If you don't invest in anything else, I say get a spray bottle. You'll see why in a little while. When we're making icing, it is so much easier to regulate how much water you're adding into your icing as opposed to trying to add it from the faucet itself. So highly, highly, highly recommend this. And you can get a 3 or 4 pack for like $1 at the dollar store. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So the other thing that I recommend is this tiered cooling rack, especially if you have a large order. Makes it so much easier. And then a fan to cool your cookies a lot faster. Okay, so if you're doing cookies that have multiple colors, you want to have a fan, because if you don't have a fan that creates that crust on those multiple colors quickly, then those colors are going to bleed into each other if you let them dry slowly. Some people use a dehydrator. I don't have one. Don't know if I'll invest in one or not. I may down the road, but for right now, what I have works, so I go with it. So just a fan, and I put it directly on there. Once they create a crust and are dried, then I move them. All right, so one other thing, these edible food pens have come in very handy, especially if you're not very good at using icing to write with. This is huge. And then just some other little like petal dust and gold luster dust and things like that, which we'll go into later.